Hi guys, welcome back. This is Chaotic TV and we are continuing our IPL selected game coverage. On Cloud Kingdom, we have from the Losers Round number 7 in the blue trunks, as Total Biscuit would say. He is a Terran player named Startale Bomber.
Here we see across the map on the other side of Cloud Kingdom the red Protoss player using the user tag Barrel. It is Creator Prime.
This is from the Losers Round 7. This is when there were only, I guess it was considered the round of 16 or round of 12. But Bomber did, wow, I can't say anything right. I was thrown off, I think, by the name Barrel, which is a reference to a green color, and has been the name for very many characters in fantasy books, namely, off the top of my head, Dragonlance and the Lord of the Rings books for minor characters. And actually in Dragonlance the name Barrel was the name of a green acid-spitting dragon. That's how much nerdcore I know right now. And we have a gas first coming out from Bomber, where the standard gateway from Creator is coming out.
A lot of times when we see this gas first type build, we'll see some tech into like cloaked banshees or something. It'll be thrown off a little bit by it, unless they actually scout the amount of Vespian that's been actually mined out of that geyser. When they come in with their scouting probe, they're not going to know exactly what the timing was, so they could possibly think that they have less gas than they have available to them.
So what is Bomber's known style? I don't normally follow Startale players. LGIM, I think, is my favorite team.
Bomber, I think he just plays pretty standard. I don't know his TVP off the top of my head. He stands out more in my mind from his Code A TVT matches. But here we see him going straight into the factory as soon as the barracks finished. Just the standard opening here. We'll see him probably go into Starport after this. Like I said, with likely Cloaked Banshees coming off of this early gas.
And looks like I want to call him Barrel, but Creator Prime is just doing his normal scouting. I don't know why he took that interesting path.
Right as I say that, he opens a reactor on his barracks, and he's going to switch into Reactor Intelligence, which we're seeing come into its own a little bit against Protoss players. It's one of the defenses that they tend to skip when they're going into the games. You'll see Reactor Intelligence come out, and if not just straight up the ramp, they can make a quick medevac on the behind and drop them. 4 Hellions can kill probes really quickly in your base.
So that's if they can get into the main base quick enough, but other than that, I don't see Reactor Hellions doing very much against the actual fighting units of Protoss players.
With really good micro, they do exceptionally well against Zealots, but you have to really be on top of micro, and there can't be any force fields. They kill sentries extremely quickly if they can get to them, but a good Protoss player will not leave their sentries in a position that vulnerable. You see the first Hellions coming across the map. They're gonna just do their scouting and take map control for the time being.
And Nexus first out of Creator Prime will give him a bit more of an economy. He doesn't really have all that many army supply right now, but he could reinforce quickly once this Warp Gate finishes in I don't know, 6 seconds.
He's going through to get Robo behind this, just playing safe. Doesn't want to get caught by a Cloaked Banshee or any kind of play like that.
And that looks like Creator has denied at least the first 2 Hellions from Startale Bomber, who seems to be in 4 different places at once if you look at how many things he's got moving around separately on the remap.
He's got a total of 6 Hellions out on the map, and here comes the medevac to drop him. At the same time, he's taking his expansion at the natural, actually at the base, so he's not really worried about the safety of that expansion. He just wants to get it out there and up and running as fast as he can. He knows he's behind an economy with the fast expand coming out of Creator here. You see he gets 1 Hellion run by, and he's just going to end up getting the scout with that, but it was a distraction, so the medevac could drop the rest of the Hellions in. He runs his most of his probes away. Loses a couple of them, but then just forces them out with his stalker army.
Yeah, I've only seen 4 probes die. I don't know if that was extremely cost efficient by Bomber.
It's better than
500.
nothing, but yeah, he definitely not as much damage he would have liked to have done with them.
No, not at all. It, each probe, SCV, and drone does what, 40 minerals a minute?
I don't even know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's 40, and with only 4 gone, that's 160 minerals a minute lost plus the actual cost of the probe, so 360 versus the 500. And the probes can be chrono boosted out very quickly, as they currently are being, to replace that. So it was, I think, just really cost inefficient. And now he's down almost 15 supply in this early part of the game, with the first observer coming across the map and this scouting barracks headed out for Bomber.
It's actually a factory. They don't use the factory too much in TVP.
Factory.
You see him stepping into more standard play, getting out engineering base for upgrades. Gonna go into Green Medevac and Marauder, mostly Marauder against a Protoss player. Marauders are so good against stalkers. It's not even funny.
It's funny to Terran players. We do see 2 extra gas coming down for Creator Prime and a Twilight Council.
We do see the quick armor upgrade coming out from Protoss player that allows the Zealots to take Marine shots so much better.
Definitely, with each Marine doing 6 damage unupgraded, with 5 Marines attacking, that's essentially 30 damage. And if you can have that extra armor upgrade, then it's only 25, which gives him, I think, at least two more shots needed on life. And if there's another Zealot, it's up to 3 or 4.
Oh, and here he flies a drop directly into waiting stalkers. He does manage to get most of the units out safely and not lose any of the medevacs. He's going to take down the stalkers that are waiting there.
He lost 1 medevac, and this other medevac has 2 marauders in it, and he's just going to drop him around because there's no way he can pull out. And both medevacs die, and all of these units die, but it does look like he's done a bit of damage, taking out a number of Zealots and I think 3 or 4 stalkers.
Yeah, you look at the units lost tab, and he really evened it out just there.
Yeah.
So that being said, there's a fairly even trade for him.
And he evened out the total overall supply when he was down earlier. But the 3rd base is dropped for Greater, and Bomber sees it right away and unloads this backup drop he had going, and is going to force a cancel right now.
Yeah, a trade like that will benefit the Terran a little bit more than the Protoss player, since the Protoss player has to use their resources, their warp-in timers and whatnot, to remake the units that they lost. Instead of making other units to add to their composition, they'll have to reflesh out their core, whereas the Terran player will constantly have the production going of exactly what they want.
What do you think of the placement of this more forward command center by Bomber? I actually kind of like it because Terrans can turn it into a planetary fortress in worst case scenarios and go for just an offensive. This drop is going to be caught by some stalkers. We'll come back to that earlier topic.
Oh, the 3rd base up above instead of down below.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I don't know. It will have to be a planetary fortress because his units will just be isolated unless he carries them all in medevacs trying to shuttle back and forth to defend. It's the more common placement. I don't know. He might just be banking on that remaining hidden for a little while from the other player.
And the Bomber did a little bit more in evening up the score with so many more attack units coming in right now, and his level 2 upgrades and level 1 armor coming in for the Marines. It is an orbital command, so I guess you were right. He is thinking it's going to be a bit more hidden in case Creator's doing his normal path across the map, which includes going for that 3rd base. And I wonder if Bomber actually knows that this observer is here in front of his base, and that's also why he sent it the forward command center.
The hidden idea has paid off. He has scouted the normal 3rd location, but not this one. He does have an observer seeing units tending in that general direction, so he may check over there soon.
I like forward bases for Terran and for Zerg, mainly because it allows you to use your units more for defense. You can get back on defense more quickly than you can otherwise. And the third base, the normal third base, is a bit further away from your natural entrance, whereas where Bomber's units are right now, he can move quickly left or right to defend either base or the entrance. We see a flanking pylon come out for Greater a little while ago, just in case he can warp anything behind Bomber. And Bomber's headed towards that front to clear out the Zelnaga tower and make sure he's not being spotted, but he's being followed by an observer right now. Bit of posturing coming down, and Bomber is finally taking the lead in supply, although these Colossi do pose quite a big threat. It doesn't look like Creator Prime is going to build any more right now. He's going to switch into Templar Archive.
He seems to have either scouted that he's not making any more Colossus, or just got a feeling about it, because he switched into Ghost and already is getting that ready. He made a few more medevacs. He's now going back into Vikings just to make sure.
Right. And I wonder if, I think Creator Prime's observers spotted that there were already this many Vikings out, and the Colossi wouldn't stand so much more of a chance with this many, so he'll lose the 2 and go into that Templar Archive play with these extra 2 gas on his natural supply blocking Creator right now. But that's easily fixed.
We see 3 Ghosts already out on the field. They don't have any of the energy or the cloaking upgrade, but they'll be there, and by the time any major engagements happen, they should have EMPs ready.
Yeah, and one of them actually has a single EMP, and Creator Prime has resupply blocks with an almost max Bomber, who I think will pick up and drop a little bit into the main. Oh no, he's just going for it, and a blink forward to catch some of these Vikings. And a huge micro back by Bomber, taking out all of these tanking zealots, with the supply just dropping supremely for Creator Prime. The re-stem, and I think Creator Prime's going to be dead right now. The Colossus fall, and the Stalkers are just melting underneath these Marauders, and there's the GG.
He did a good job of stepping forward to take out the Vikings, but it just wasn't enough against that big of a bio army.
And he had more reinforcements coming in from behind. That is the first game between Bomber and Creator Prime from IPL's Losers Round 7. We're going to go into Game 2 right now. Cheers.